All right, today we're jumping into a problem that every modern city faces, but we're going to look at it through the lens of a really unique solution from Algeria. The topic? Parking. Yeah, I know, but trust me, this isn't just about that daily frustration. This is about a plan that could completely transform urban life as we know it.
Seriously, think about it for a second. That endless circling, the stress building up, watching the minutes just tick away, it's a feeling anyone who's ever driven in a city knows way too well. And it's not just a small annoyance, is it? It's a massive drain on our time, our energy, and frankly, our sanity. And that's the thing. The source material from Give Back to Algeria, or GBTA, really frames this perfectly. This daily hunt for a parking spot has actually spiraled into a full-blown urban crisis. It's clogging up our streets, it's polluting the air, and it can even block emergency services when they need to get through. This is a huge systemic problem, and it needs a real systemic solution.
So, here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll look at the daily struggle and see why Algeria's cities are really at a breaking point. Then, we'll get into the innovative solution they've come up with. We're also going to examine the unique model they've built on trust, see the real-world benefits of this plan, and finally, check out the path forward. Okay, let's dive in.
So, first things first, let's really get a handle on the scale of this problem. How did parking become such a massive issue in Algeria's cities?
Well, the source material points to a few key things that all feed into each other. You've got this basic imbalance, way more cars than there are legal spots. And as cities keep growing, that pressure just gets worse, which leads to total chaos, people parking wherever they can. Sidewalks become these obstacle courses that are just not safe for kids, for the elderly, for anyone, really. This chaos also creates a sort of parallel market with informal attendance and prices that are all over the place. And to top it all off, past attempts to fix this have often failed because of poor management. It's a perfect storm.
Okay, so if the problem is that complicated, you know the solution can't be simple. And this is where the GBTA plan gets really interesting, introducing a totally new way of thinking. This is not just about building more parking garages.
This quote from the GBTA action plan really says it all. The goal isn't just to find a place to stash cars. It's about creating a whole network of useful, valuable spaces for the community. So what in the world is a mobility hub? Think of it like a modern, supercharged community facility. Yeah, its main job is to provide safe, organized parking, but it does so much more, bringing in services that make it easier to get around the city. And, this is the crucial part, it gives public space back to the people. And what's really smart is that this isn't some one-size-fits-all plan. Nope, it adapts to what each area actually needs. For the busiest downtown areas, you get these big city center hubs. In residential areas, you'll find smaller neighborhood hubs that serve local shops and homes. And then, on the edge of town, you've got these strategic park and ride hubs that link up with public transport to keep cars out of the city center in the first place.
And let me tell you, we are not talking about some dark, dingy concrete garage. These hubs are designed for today and for the future. We're talking smart tech like digital payments, professional security with CCTV, and forward-thinking stuff like EV charging stations and places to park your bike. They might even have little cafes or car care spots, adding convenience and helping the whole thing pay for itself.
Now, a great plan is one thing, but making it happen and making it trustworthy, that's everything. So how does this model make sure it actually works for the public and avoids the problems of the past? Well, it's designed with transparency baked right in from the start. The whole structure is built on a really clever separation of powers. On one side, you have a nonprofit guardian association. Think of them as the public's watchdog. They set the rules, they cap the prices, and they make sure everything is transparent. Then on the other side, you have Alamana Development, the professional operator. They're the ones who actually build and manage the hubs day to day. So, one team makes the rules for the public good, and the other team executes. It's a built-in system of checks and balances. And here is the absolute key to the whole thing. It's called the asset lock. This is critical. This is not a project designed to make individuals rich. Any profit that's generated doesn't get paid out to shareholders. Instead, it gets locked in and put right back into the community, either to build more hubs or to pay for other public projects. It's a self-sustaining circular model that benefits everyone. So with a solid plan and a model you can actually trust, what does this all mean for people's daily lives? Let's talk about the real, tangible benefits for regular citizens, for the local economy, and for the environment. For residents, the impact is almost immediate. You're talking less time wasted, less daily stress. Sidewalks are suddenly clear, making the streets safer for everybody, especially kids and older folks. And with all that chaos gone, Emergency vehicles and buses can finally move freely. It just adds up to a better, calmer quality of life.
And the economic benefits? They're just as big. These hubs create good local jobs. They help local businesses boom because it's suddenly easier for customers to get to them. You're turning this informal, untaxed shadow economy into a real, measurable source of income for the country. And you're helping protect beautiful historic city centers by managing traffic flow.
And we can't forget the environmental impact, which is huge. All that time cars spend circling for a spot, that's just needless pollution. This plan cuts that down dramatically. Getting sidewalks back means more space for trees and little green spaces. And by supporting public transport and EVs, this whole system is actively building cleaner, healthier, more breathable cities for everyone.
Okay, so this isn't just some nice idea on paper, it's a real actionable plan. So let's look at the final piece of the puzzle, the roadmap for how they're going to turn this vision into a nationwide reality.
The rollout is super methodical and smart. It all starts with a prep phase, just getting the standards and partnerships in place. Then, Phase 1 launches pilot projects in 3 different cities to test each type of hub and measure how well it works. After they learn from that, Phase 2 expands the model to 12 key cities before the final phase begins a gradual nationwide rollout. It's a classic test, learn, and then scale up strategy.
So when you boil it all down, this plan does so much more than just solve the parking problem. It basically turns a philosophy of community benefit into a real, tangible daily service. It's all about bringing order to chaos, protecting our shared public spaces, and creating a sustainable system where the value flows right back to the community.
And that really leaves us with a powerful question to chew on. This whole plan challenges us to totally rethink what we think we know. What if we stopped seeing parking as just a nuisance to be dealt with? What if we started seeing it as a powerful asset, one we can actually use to build safer, greener, and more prosperous communities for everyone?